I remember the moment it hit me, sharp and cold, like a blade sliding across my chest. My phone buzzed just as I was pouring a glass of whiskey, trying to quiet the hum of my own restlessness. Her name flashed on the screen. I'm extending my stay. No explanation. No context. Just that. From her work conference, she said. And in that instant, the cozy world I thought we had built together began to fracture. At first, I tried to calm myself. Maybe the conference really had changed plans. Maybe it was harmless. I told myself that over and over, staring at her name, the amber liquid trembling in my glass. But a small, insistent voice at the back of my mind whispered doubt. Why hadn't she called? Why a text so cold and detached when she knew how I hated surprises? The first warning signs had been subtle. Missed calls I didn't think twice about at first, until they piled up, each one gnawing at me. The way her voice had sounded the week before, clipped and distracted during dinner, almost rehearsed. The little excuses that now rang hollow. I'm just busy with prep, she said. Nothing to worry about. But my gut told me otherwise. I began to replay every memory with her, searching for cracks I had ignored. The way she laughed too loudly at nothing. The evenings when she claimed exhaustion, yet lingered online later than I knew she should. The way she sometimes flinched when I reached for her phone. It was as if the intimacy we once shared had been slowly replaced by secrets I wasn't meant to see. And with that text, the veil was torn. I tried to reach her. Texts went unanswered. Calls went straight to voicemail. I sat on the couch, phone in hand, the room dimly lit and silent except for the hum of the refrigerator and the clock ticking relentlessly. Anxiety twisted in my chest, a mix of fear and anger I couldn't untangle. I didn't want to believe it, but a part of me already knew the truth before I even found it. And then came the accident, the kind of moment that forever marks the point of no return. Her phone had been left behind on the kitchen counter. I told myself I wouldn't, that I'd respect her privacy, but the text notifications couldn't hide themselves. One after another, messages from someone named Derek, the tone familiar and intimate, casual and unrepentant. My name was absent, but the laughter, the planning, the hidden rendezvous, it was all there, every word a hammer pounding on my chest. I sat down, shaking, the phone slipping from my hands as nausea swept through me. Memories that once brought warmth now burned like coals. Her smile, the way she used to brush her hair behind her ear, the late nights we spent dreaming together, each one now tainted, replayed in my mind as lies. I felt dizzy, betrayed, like the floor beneath me had been pulled away. My anger roared, but it was intertwined with heartbreak too deep to name. I remember staring out the window that night, into the empty street below, trying to find clarity in the blur of city lights. I imagined confronting her, not yelling, not screaming, but asking the question that had haunted me since the text. Why? But the harder question was directed at myself. How had I not seen it coming? How had I been so blind, so utterly convinced that love alone could shield us from cracks? The confrontation happened the next morning. I had held the evidence in my hands, cold and undeniable. She didn't deny it. Her face, pale and guilty, broke my heart all over again. I didn't mean for it to happen, she said, voice trembling. I felt something missing. I'm sorry. Her apology was raw, unpolished, but it wasn't enough to mend the wound. The betrayal was deeper than words, deeper than explanations. We sat together in silence for hours. I remember the first time we held hands, the first laugh we shared at some stupid joke, the quiet nights where nothing existed except the sound of our breathing in sync. And I realized that those memories, though now fractured, were mine to keep. But I couldn't let them blind me from what had happened. Love alone couldn't survive deceit. Trust had been shattered, and without it, everything else fell hollow. Leaving was the hardest thing I've ever done. Packing her things, walking away, each step an ache in my chest. But as I closed the door for the last time, a strange clarity settled over me. The heartbreak didn't vanish. It lingered, sharp and raw, but so did the strength I hadn't known I had. I had chosen myself, my dignity, my peace over the remnants of a love that had turned toxic. I still think of her sometimes, the woman I loved more than I could explain. But now, the thought no longer makes my stomach twist in agony. It's a quiet acknowledgement of what I lost, and what I refused to lose again. That night changed everything, yes, but it didn't destroy me. It reminded me that heartbreak can be a teacher, betrayal a mirror, and walking away, the only path to reclaiming yourself.